Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and today for Lost Sword, I thought I'd show a little bit of the in-game gameplay and mechanics and all that, as that was one of the biggest comments I seen in my last video where I discussed kind of the fact that I was going to be covering this game and playing it. Now, this is the Korean version, and anyone can easily get access to it. It's not like CN versions where it's a hassle to get access. All you have to do is get your favorite emulator. From there, go into the browser, download an app called Q App, which you can see here. And then in Q App, just navigate to the Korean version of Lost Sword. You can just look it up there. Or you can just look it up in the browser and then go to Q App from there. And then you'll just go ahead and you'll say, I think, download and install, download and install. And then from the home screen, just click on Lost Sword and it'll take you right into the game. And that's all there is to it. Now, when it comes to the actual in-game in the Korean version, it is mostly translated in English for if you select it as your language. You will see occasional Korean, though, here and there. You'll be able to navigate easy. I've had no issues getting around in this, even with the very little Korean that you do see. And so right now I'm at the home screen. This is an account that I used when I was testing rerolling. So it's not exactly far in the game to showcase everything, but I thought I'd just show, kind of just navigate around it and show a little bit of the game here. So one thing I'm going to compare it a lot to, because I find a lot of it very similar to, is Nikkei. So that's the big thing. I'll compare a lot to Nikkei on a lot of the like systems in the game here. So after you get to through the tutorial, you're going to get to this home screen here and unlock that. And the first thing that I see, like you can kind of see right off the bat, is this treasure expedition right down here. This is very similar to the Nikkei outpost system. You're just slowly accumulating resources over time. It'll go all the way to 100%. And all you have to do is click acquire treasure, and boom, you'll get that treasure. And just like the outpost system in Nikkei, you can also do quick expeditions. There's 1 free a day, 3 paid ones you can do. It gives you the equivalent of 120 minutes of this over time. That's that. That's very simple there. And so when you're on here, I think the big thing a lot of people want to see is combat in this game. And so for that, you can go to this menu. So you have your general content, boss raids, PvP with the Coliseum. You have your typical tower system here, kind of climbing the tower. Your dungeons are going to be your resource accumulations, party content, guild content. Guilds have like guild bosses and all that. Nothing too difficult in this. So I will be running my own guild for this. And it's going to be semi-competitive in the aspect that you don't have to compete to get everything in this game. It's going to be easy enough. And then your events here. So anything battle-wise for that will be on the event side. Then you also have your story up here, which you can do. And let's just go ahead and do the first chunk of the story to kind of showcase combat a little bit, because I know a lot of people wanted to see that. It's telling me I have an unassigned pet. So let's actually look at how the formation system works. The first thing is you have your pets. So these are things you'll accumulate over time. This one right here is the free one we'll get if you hit we hit a million pre-registrations, I believe. So make sure to pre-register if you have not, so you can unlock a 5-star pet right off the bat. Also, you're only going to have this golden retriever because that's the first free one they give you. And I do have a cat that I got in the gacha, which is telling me I have to place in the game. Now, when it comes to the formations, different pets are going to be better in different positions. It'll be identifiable in them themselves. You can kind of see it. Boom. She's better here because it gave the check mark. I don't know what the cat and dog are getting. Okay, I think the cat and dog are all... I think they're all good in the front. So this is a bad setup, but I'm just kind of showcasing it. So they have preferred spots to get a bonus. And the pets are just... They're like a little bonus to your overall team here in stats, as well as kind of how their skill that impacts them. So depending on your teams you're building will depend on what pets you want to bring that you can summon for. And it works very similar to the characters here. And so I have them set up. You can kind of see they have bonuses above them if they're in the right slots. The only one that's not in the right slot is her. That's primarily because you only can have 2 in a slot, and I have 3 that can go to the front. I could always replace her with somebody else, but this is just kind of for showcasing it. And so they have the preferred slots. You put them there. You've leveled them up and geared them up and all that. After that, we'll just go into combat here. I think we're good now. Yep, so I have my team built, and we'll just go right in and kind of see what combat looks like. This is just a story mode, low-level stuff right now. They should easily beat it, because I have not pushed far in it at all. And you can kind of just see how it works. Now, this is an idle game, so you don't really have to do much. They do all the fighting for you. It's kind of like, if you want to compare it to Nikke, it's when you have all the auto stuff on. You just let them do it all on their own. Now, there are skills down here, and it's basically their ultimates. You can manually control those instead of having it auto-trigger them. And that may be something you may want to do, but it's not necessary until you get to like the hardest difficulty, where maybe you need to do the right timing of them to set yourself up for success. But this is basically what it is. It's fun to kind of just watch them. It's not, they're killing stuff so quickly, you're not getting really to see the skills and ultimates in that, but I can showcase that here after. I guess we can skip the story. So this is mostly what it is just them running, doing it like most other idle games. And so when you go back to town, we'll go back to the town here. Now, you didn't really get to see everything there because they were killing things so quickly. But if you actually want to actually look at all the characters and what their animation stuff look like, you can actually do that. Once the game comes out, you can click on the character themselves, and actually you can, not just the character you have, you can do it with the ones that you don't have as well down here. And so maybe there's a character you're just caring about animations more than what they're good for. You can click them and go into here, character trial, and try out the character. And you can do this with any of them. They're all available at all times. And so you can go in here and kind of just move around. And then you have the buttons for their different skills. So if you want to do their basic attack, so she looks to be a healer, I guess, or a support. The running command. And then you can have the skill, which you didn't get to see in the combat because they were killing things too quickly. But it's a nice little anime cutscene here. Oh, it looks like she's a healer. And then you also have, I think, what a lot of the advertisement shows, because this is where the fan service is there if they die. So a lot of them are, yeah, like boobs falling out and all that with all the different characters and the death. So you can kind of see everything with them here in the trial. And you can do that with any character. Just like Nikke, you can look at characters you don't have and skins you don't have, even though you can't play with them. Same thing here. And so that's characters. You can kind of see all the pets that are available in the game as well. All the 5-star ones are based off your characters, except some unique ones like Griffin. But I think a lot of them, you can get most of the characters in the game. They have like their equivalent of a pet. And that's what we'll look at next, actually, is the summons. Is what are you going to be summoning for in the game, and what is the gacha system in it? I actually think this is a very good gacha system. It's very similar to Nikke. Like I said, I'm going to compare it to Nikke a lot. Now, compared to a lot of other games, I mean, all gacha systems are bad because the gacha system, I mean, you're gambling for the characters. But this one is pretty good in terms of you get tons of pulls in this game. And it's, I believe it's 200 a pull, as you can kind of see here for the limited characters. A times 10 is 2,000 crystals. Then you have pets. I believe, yeah, it's 100 per pull. Yeah, so if you're going through the premium currency or the main currency, it's 100 per pull for a pet, 200 for a unit, or you can use the tickets as you acquire them. The tickets are tied to their specific banners, so these are like the standard tickets. Then you have the limited tickets, and then you have the pet tickets and all that. It may sound like it's complicated. It's very simple. It's just like a weapon. Think of the pets as like a weapon banner. And they give you tons of pulls. So even though you have a ton of stuff you want to pull for, they do give you a ton of pulls. Like, I just literally logged in, opened my mailbox here yesterday. I already had opened it yesterday. And then today, I just, for some reason, have a 10 pull in here. It's a standard 10 pull, but one single day, I got another 10 pull. It could be from an event or something, but I've been told they hand out pulls like crazy in this game, even as a free-to-play. And so we look at the probabilities here. They have a 3% pull rate of an SSR or 5-star in this game. And the really nice thing is it's not a 50-50. It's a 66-33 or 66.6 repeating, 33.3 repeating chance. So better than 50-50 chance to get the on-banner character. If you don't get them, you have a chance to get any other character that has released in the game. Because like Nikke, they get added to the standard pool. And you can actually see in here, all of the characters are added in here. And you have that is the rates of 3% with a... Now, there is no soft pity that I can see. But there is an hard PD. It's a unique hard PD. I like it. It's not as good as Nikkei's, but it's similar in that aspect as well. And when you click here, this little question mark, it kind of goes over it. When acquiring a 3-star or 4-star character from the summon, the count is reduced by 1. When the summon count reaches 120, a 5-star pickup character is guaranteed. And so this is one that does not reset on acquisition of a 5-star character. And what I mean by that is, if you get a 5-star, this isn't reset. As you can see, when acquiring a 3 or 4-star, character from the summon count is reduced by 1. Nothing about 5 stars. And so, even if you get 10 5-stars on the way to 120 pulls, you're going to be guaranteed a 5-star at 120. It's not as good as the gold mileage tickets from Nikkei, because those you can just save. This one, when you hit 120, you are getting a 5-star. No ifs or ands about it. There's no way to hold it off. Once you hit that 120, you're going to get that. And it does carry. It carries with all the banners. And it actually tells you. But you have that. And it's the same thing with pets too. Pets have the same thing. It'll say pick up character. You have character. But actually look at it on the pet one. I think it says pet. Yeah, pet guaranteed. Same system on the pets. I think everything's the same with the pet. 3%, yeah. And then on the dedicated one, 3%, 2%. So same exact system. They all can use crystals, but they have their own dedicated currency you'll accumulate in the game that goes towards pet. Now that is the summoning system. I think it's pretty good. That's why re-rolling in this game is also very easy, and I would advise people to re-roll, especially if they give us like it up to date with all the current characters that came out already, because there's some really good ones on the Korean version right now that'll be really good to target on re-roll. But I'll make a separate video on that. And now when it actually comes to, let's look at the cost of pulls, because they're going to give tons of pulls in the game overall. But if you're going to be a spender, what are you getting equivalent of? As I already said, it's the diamonds. It's 100 for a pet summon, 200 for a character summon. So how much money are you having to spend if you want to get more than what they give you in the game? And so when you look at the currency packages here, you can see they actually don't do, at least from what I can tell, they're not doing the stupid, weird numbers. Like this one's going to barely, you pay this much and you're going to get this apparently random amount. No, it's basically 100 pulls per dollar spent on all the packages, except weirdly, this could be just a conversion issue. All of them are 100 pulls per dollar spent. As you can see, 800 versus $8, 240 for 2.49, 400 versus $4, 2400 for $24, 8,000 for $80. The only one that doesn't do that, is the best one to buy if it stays this way, is for $39. You get 4,000. You get a bonus 100. But the nice thing is, because of those rates, you don't have to feel like pressured to buy the $100 one every single time to get the best value. You can just buy the cheaper ones. It's the same conversion except for the $40 one, which I think's nice. We'll have to kind of see. I don't know if that's just a conversion issue with Korean to the English, because I can't buy on here if I wanted to anyway. And then so we have our event shop. So let's actually look at the spending stuff here. And so this is your daily, weekly, and monthlies. You can kind of get a gist of the value on these. These are typically always bad. With daily being the worst, weekly being the second worst, monthly being the best of the three. But you can see if you bought the $80 package here, what do you get in this? You get you get the equivalent of 40 character pulls or 80 pet summons. Then you get 60 character summons and 60 familiar summons, which are pet. And I believe these are the standard ones. So just know these are standards. These are not, I believe these are the standards, the silver ones. The gold ones, or the reddish gold ones, are the limited. So you get a ton of pulls here on these ones. But it is standard. It's kind of the same thing with Nikkei. You have that risk of getting any character, but you can get any character. So you get a ton of pulls when it comes to standard if you want to buy on those. I don't know if it has... Now, the diamonds you can use on anything. And so you'll want to use those on the limited characters. And it's kind of the same thing on the weeklies, except it's going to be less value there. But the biggest value is going to definitely be in the promotion ones. So these are going to be, like, you have the ones that come out for every event. Usually it's going to be discounted value. So here you're paying 7,200 crystals for 7,200 diamonds. Plus 60 pulls for the limited character here. Plus some XP and gold there. So you can already see that one's way more value because it has the limited pulls. You have limited ones here. Here's a free 5-star card, which we'll get into cards here in a second. They'll give you right off the bat. These are kind of like your starter packs that they have in all these games. The one that gets you put your credit card information in, $1 for a 10 pull. Most all gachas have those. A $4 pack that gives you a bunch of random pulls. Same thing here. $2,400 for a guaranteed, I think that's 5-star relic or weapon. Plus 20 pulls. So that, I mean, you always have your best value at the launch of a game on these initial packages. I think these are also the beginner ones as well, because these give a crap ton of pulls. So I don't know what it is though, because this one's in Korean and these are all in Korean up here. But and then you have event ones. So shop is actually similar to Nikkei's. Basically, is the way best way I can say it. And so that's that. But like I said, you don't feel like you have to spend in this game. They give you tons of pulls over time. And so we have that. Let's see here. Now let's actually look at the characters and kind of how upgrading in the game works. There's a lot of different systems. It might look complex at first, but it is very simple. You're literally just basically leveling up your characters and making their numbers higher stats. It's similar to Nikkei in that I think there's going to basically be infinite leveling. I think the max level is 300, but they're going to be constantly raising that. And so you're just always going to be leveling up. And that is actually one thing I really like about this. One thing I really like about Nikkei is you feel like you're always making progress in the game over time through just your ultimate account level and character levels. And actually, I think it's, okay, it looks like it's 200. Maybe it's just because I haven't unlocked a higher level. But, yeah, we have that. You're going to be always leveling the characters up with the currencies and that. But you have, so you have their leveling up. You have skills up. We'll be leveling skills. Nothing crazy with that. Has their own currency for that. You have the equipment that you're going to be acquiring over time that you're going to equip them with. You can see different stats on here. Kind of, you can work it like your relic system, whatever there. Then you have cards. Cards are going to be an important part of, and this is where kind of dupes can become somewhat important depending on who has a really good card. Now, you're going to get dupes over time, just like Nikkei. You get a ton of dupes in Nikkei because of how many pulls they give you on their, just for their standard pulls. So it's going to be similar to here. You're going to get dupes. So don't feel like you have to be pressured on a limited banner to use limited pulls to get your dupes. You'll just get them over time. And how you get cards, which are just more ways to increase your characters. That's what like all mechanics are, is just making them better overall. More stats. How you get your cards are through the dupe system here. There's two things here. There's Resonance and Transcend. And we'll have one that I actually have a dupe for on the purples here. So, oh, I've already acquired hers, I guess. Let me see. Can I show... Okay, well, I guess I could show it even if I don't have a dupe. So you have Transcend and Resonance. Transcend is going up the dupes. So if I get the first dupe, that's the stats I get. Second dupe, stats. So dupes are basically just stat increases. Plus you have your skill level increases, like you see with some gachas like Hoyoverse ones. But it's mostly flat stats. Pretty big stats, but flat stats on the dupes. But you have the other option, which is Resonance. So you can trade one dupe of them, one dupe of the character for their card, and their card has, not only does it give extra stats on it, but they have like unique conditions. So like this one, activation condition. At the start of battle, recover current HP by 1%. And you can level up the cards. That's just starting out. And you're constantly moving through fights. So that's going to be activated often. And all the cards have like their own unique effects. Like if I pick someone else, like what's this one? Magic defense, increased defense. detailed activation condition. Activates when the current HP is at 50% or more. Magic defense increases 9%. Simple that. Simple there. But there's all kinds of different cards. There'll be your meta cards for your meta, and all the units have their preferred card. But that's how you get them. You have that. That just kind of explained the dupe system. Then you have specialties. This is going to take another currency. I believe this one's going to be a more rare currency. It's going to be like cores and stuff in Girls Frontline 2. So these ones you'll have to use sparingly. Use them, but it gives you more stuff. I don't have any that kind of showcase it here, but it's just more. It's just more power to your characters. Best way I can explain it. And then you have the other way you power them up through the relics, and so you have an offensive, and I don't know what this one. This one's giving attack, defense, HP, and crit damage increase. This one's giving melee attack, range attack. And this one's, it's just another stat stick to your team overall. You just slowly upgrade them as you accumulate resources, and you'll balance out how you're upgrading them. It's not too complex. What you're basically doing in this game is just you're just increasing your character stats over time so that you can overpower the content as the content comes out. So that is that one there. Let's see. I think I've hit most things. When you have your typical quest system, like your dailies, you do those, you get your pulls and that in here. You have your other quests here. I mean, you'll get tons of pulls. Like, I've already got, this one's a, so this is a 10 pull right here. One quest just gave me a 10 pull. So, and, tons of pulls from that, and you're going to get flooded with them in the beginning, too. Oh, and then we have, I kind of showed the store, but I didn't show the other stuff here. So you have your battle passes here. This one looks to be a starter battle pass. So this is like a new account battle pass. As you accumulate through this one over time, it does give you a guaranteed 5-star at the end if you buy it, which it's $7.20 for this one, at 720 crystals. You have a welcome back pass. If you don't play the game for a while and you come back, which I tried it out a month ago and now I'm just getting back on it, you'll get this. So it starts you right off the bat. If you want to spend money to get the better one here, you get 10 pet pulls, and then 10 limited ones there. You work your way through a bunch of resources, and at the end you'll get another 10 limited character pulls or 10 standard pulls if you don't buy it. Simple on that one. You have your event battle pass. Basically the same thing. You get some pulls, and then you go all the way up to the... You can kind of see. If I compare this to other games with their battle passes, they don't give you as many pulls. You can see how they give you a lot more in this. Well, Nikkei gives you a lot too on their stuff. But 10 at the end, 5 on the standard, 5, 2, 5, 2. So that's why I like to say, I kind of compare it to Nikkei in terms of what you can kind of expect in terms of the value of your resources that you're given. And I think that pretty much covers most things in the game. I showed the combat, showed the summoning system and the gacha system. I showcased this. This is just getting your resources over time. Oh, I leveled up. But, yeah, that's the characters. You can look at any of them in here. I think I've pretty much hit everything at this point. But that is Lost Sword in a nutshell. If there's anything that you can think of that I may have missed, let me know and I can cover it. I don't have everything unlocked, so I can't like show the guild or rankings and all that kind of stuff in here. But just know, like, all of the mechanics in this game just apply to making it stat sticks for the most part. Stat sticks to your characters. You have like the activations and stuff like on the cards with conditions, and there'll be like a meta level analysis on that. But overall, it's just making your character stronger over time to push through the content. Just like Nikkei. And yeah, that's pretty much it here for now. But yeah, if you have any other questions or anything, you can put it in the comments. I've been trying to respond to them as much as possible. I will be having my own guild once the game launches. We're starting recruiting now, but I'm not going to heavily push it right this second. But as we get closer, I'll start doing heavy recruiting. You can have up to 50 members in your guild. You start off at 20, but you'll push through the levels quickly to unlock all 50 slots. It's not like Girls Frontline 2, where it's a very slow pace to get more slots unlocked. But that'll be it for now. If you like my content, if you could like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.